The work that's on here is the work of a project that we've just completed the first stage of in Jiangsu province in Nanjing in China. It's a development framework plan for a 20 square kilometre area here that's part of an 80 square kilometre new town. This is something that's come about through a company that's been set up between Urbis, Design Inc. and my own company lab called Australian Urban Systems to try to find a different way to engage with China, to use the government-to-government relationship to leverage into at a different level. What this project is also doing is understanding that globalisation has a whole series of other implications. One of them is just to do with export of services and jobs. 100% of the people working in my company are working on projects overseas. So that's how important it is to us. But also to acknowledge that globalisation is about a shared climate. And what happens in China affects us. We've exported the production of products there, and we have to take a kind of ownership in what the way that country can develop its prosperity, but do it in a sustainable way. And they are, at the moment, terrified about having to choose between the two, and if they do, they'll choose development over the environment. And to many extents, they are using the language of sustainability in what we unaffectionately call a greenwash way. They're using the language in a way that bears no relationship to its implementation. What you can see here, and your projector is appalling in its colour calibration. This here is typical Chinese planning. These are 20-hectare sites. These are 11 separate universities through here. And what we're trying to do is to create a contemporary mixed-use city that has a vibrant economy and down at a small scale. Break down all of the challenges, all the cliches that exist with Chinese development in terms of the block. We've done this based on an analysis of the existing water and ecology systems on this site about reinvigorating those water systems, if you go to the next image. So the urban form, the framework of the streets is all in relationship to the topography, not setting down an ideal grid on top of that. Next. And, dear me, that is a mountain. About a third of whose volume has been eaten away by quarries that have been crushed in order to make concrete, in order to make buildings. All that decayed in there was going to be turned into green, painted on, and we've now got approval to develop an eco-resort and build inside this mountain to show that you can inhabit that mountain in another way to get a fantastic outcome.